after hours.
Always high volatility. Uh, all right, we are back talking, stocks and whatever else in the green room, but we've got a lot of the usual panel here we've had before. No Dan yet, but got Cody Willard with us for the weekly SKTLs volunteer call. We got Bryce Smith, Joe Anderson, Piper, and Snotzy. And speak of the devil, he does show up right at the
Mr. Geraci.
Yeah.
New computer, and it wasn't set up for Slack. So
well,
at least the Wi-Fi is good, or your signal's good.
Yeah,
so.
you look crystal sharp today.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's nice. All right, well, quick look. Let's do the reminders. We want everybody to know that we got some bad asses on the call. So I'm a hedge fund manager. I used to be Almost Famous. Bryce is an analyst at my hedge fund. Joe Anderson is a marketing guru guy. Piper is. I've always said that Piper is super competent. He's like competent and good at almost everything he does. He's a good golfer. He's a good musician. He's a good basketball player. Sanatsi is a former chief scientist at one of the world's largest telecom companies, and Dan Geraci, chairman of the Planetary Society and president, COO at Free Falling Space. I don't have my guitar today, so don't.
Falling. It's just free fall.
Free fall space.
No walk-in music today.
Yeah, my bad.
Oh, we're going to get a few chords for an intro.
I'm on the road. I'm at Q Station today in Albuquerque, which is Space Force entrepreneurs and students from the University of New Mexico all come to the Q Station. And my daughter, Amaris, on a personal note, had surgery on Monday for one of the steps to eventually maybe get her trach out. So she had stomach surgery on Monday. Went very well. We might get to take her home tonight, a day earlier than expected even. So I'm in Albuquerque. Bryce came up here today to work with us. Cool. We'll hit some quick space news, and then we really need to get into how the applications for the fund. The SKTLs Space Debris Cleaning Fund is going to award 11 million tokens or so in the next week. And I guess what we'll do, let's hit space news real quick, and then I'll come back to that. And there's actually not a lot of space news this week, I don't think. Like last week, we got to go and talk about the Starship and everything. And this week, there's been a couple of successful Falcon launches from SpaceX. Viasat sent a giant new satellite up into space and successfully on a SpaceX launch. Dan, any other space-ish news things we should hit on?
The only thing I'd mention, Department of Defense, DARPA specifically, put out RFPs this week looking to get a bunch of submissions for new technology. Whether it's in the area of developing new antenna technology. NOAA put out a big request this week for a new generation of technology, both for mission management, for ground architecture, etc. So there's a lot of money now being put out in the form of grants looking for submissions for new technology, which is a good thing. Another thing, I was on a space finance committee call that I do once a month with a group of people from around the space industry and the VC world. And there's this movement afoot at the SEC. And I think I mentioned this before, but it still continues to heat up, where they basically, want to turn the capital market infrastructure upside down by requiring small companies to go public, and really killing a big part of the private sector in terms of private companies, small companies. And it's something that I think people should pay attention to and seek it out. and try to read about it, but it's blowing up in their face pretty quickly. And there's a large group of people that are starting to tee up congressional leaders, et cetera. This would be a big shift, and it would be damaging to the public and private markets if they're allowed to do this. It's insanity. Some of the people are recent American citizens from countries like Russia, and they just sit back and they say, "My God, this is like the old country." So that's not a good sign if they're saying that, including referencing China as well. So it's an interesting development that I would encourage people to just start paying attention to.
Thanks, Stan. We will. All right. So on that note, I will mention that I gave a presentation at a virtual event for the Money Show yesterday. Hop on my Twitter or I don't think it's on the SKTLs Twitter, but if you'll follow you don't have to follow me, but go to @Cody Willard on Twitter, and there's a link to it. I talked about how to invest in the space revolution. I mentioned a bunch of startups, both private and publicly traded. And I talked quite a bit about the SKTL space debris cleaning token, as a matter of fact, on the call. Let's review for everybody what the space debris.
Cody,
Yeah.
Cody, if you know the approximate time that you're going to be on again, you said May 2nd through the 4th.
No, their virtual event goes the 2nd through the 4th, but I just did one 30-minute presentation and took some Q&A at the end, and that is available for replay if you go to that link.
Okay. And you're not going to do another live one?
No, not
okay.
anytime soon.
Got it.
Okay. All right, so let's review what the SKTL space debris cleaning token is all about. Everybody here has heard this ad nauseum, but there are new people, I'm sure, so let me just review. There will be 300 million tokens total ever mined, ever produced, of the SKTL tokens. 100 million of which were given away to anybody who registered for the airdrop for free. That was last year. Everyone who got it, about 3,000 people signed up, so 3,500 each. The 35,000 tokens each is what they got. 100 million tokens at the same time were airdropped into a fund that the DAO, the Decentralized Autonomous Organization that we are all a part of, controls. Those tokens, 10% of those tokens will be donated over the next week. Next week, basically, we will donate that. So there's I should also mention that, and then there's a tranche, 100 million tokens will be mined by successful satellite launches, human beings being launched into space. Anytime there's what we call a successful space action, we mine more tokens at the end of each month, based on how many successful space actions there were. So at this point, there is about 110 million, a little less than I think, 110 million tokens in the Space Debris Cleaning Fund. We will be donating 10% of that fund to 5 recipients this week. So each one will receive, call it 2.2 million tokens. The current price, it's 1/8 of a penny or so, I think, last time I looked.
3/4, right? Not
what's that?
1/8. Not 1/8, right?
Sorry, 3/4. Yes,
Yeah.
0.8.
Yeah.
3/4 of a penny. So 2 million tokens at a penny would be $22,000. So it's somewhere between 18 to 22,000. Call it $20,000 worth of tokens that these 5 recipients will get. There are no strings attached. We hope that they will just hold on to these tokens and believe in the SKTL space debris cleaning mission. But they could go out and start blowing out of them. I will have a bid. I already have a bid in there to pick some more tokens up on the cheap. I will be providing more liquidity into the liquidity pools where these things trade. The tokens, I should mention, are traded at PancakeSwap or any other peer-to-peer exchange. We didn't, like I said, there were no founders tokens. There were no tokens sent to exchanges to help facilitate the the trading. Chris Meyer in the house. Great to see you, Chris.
Good to see you
Chris
guys.
is a famous Hollywood producer. Chris, are you on strike?
I am not on strike myself.
Yeah, Chris is now, he's flipped from being one of the people who would strike to being someone who could be stricken against. Struck against. I don't know what the right term is. Anyway, point being, you guys might not know this, but the Hollywood writers and producers are on strike, the guild. So at any rate, I was making an inside joke that wasn't funny at all. My bad.
I got it.
Thank you. We will
I
be
got it.
donating 2.2 million tokens to 5 entities. Bryce, if you would share your screen, Cabana, could Bryce share his screen? We've logged in, and also if you will grab the link to the spreadsheet that you're about to show everybody and share it in the chat here. It's already been shared on Slack. There's been 6 applications filled out, so there's a pretty good chance that 5 out of the since 5 out of the 6 are going to win tokens. It's a pretty good odds that of the ones in there that they're going to win. As you can see, there's name, contact information. That's too small on my phone here, but you guys get the point. And on the last part there is a brief write-up on the idea, the technology. These are 5 entities that have ideas for how to clean up space debris. We can Daniel, this is the first time we're doing this, right? So we don't know exactly how this will all work out. Daniel, who's in charge of our back end, he basically did all the coding for the token anyway. He will tonight take the information on this spreadsheet and put it on a place called snapshot.org, and holders of the token can go in and vote on the recipients. They can pick 5 recipients to receive it. And we'll let Daniel set this up and see if there's any nuances to this. I think it's going to be pretty straightforward. You pick 5 out of the 6, you vote, bam, your tokens get allocated toward your vote gets allocated towards that, depending on how many tokens you own. That's how much weighting your vote will have. So I personally bought over 1 million tokens. I'll vote for 5 out of the 6, and that'll be 1 million tokens worth of voting power for them. And next week we'll come back on here and we'll announce the winners, and we'll invite each of the winners to show up next week. Some of the people that had submitted there, 2 or 3 or 4 of them, I think, have actually been on a SKTLs call in the past. Hopefully they'll come back next week, and we'll do a presentation. I'll even put on a suit, get cleaned up. I'll shave. We'll do a whole thing, make it look legit. It is legit. We'll make it actually look legit too. Any questions or comments? I think
Yes,
it's going to be pretty
comment.
straightforward.
Comment, Cody. So row number 3 or submission number 2, I can't not even access the website. So,
Fair enough.
yeah, if you want to try it yourself, I use 2 browsers. I only tried it on Brave, the Brave browser. So, and there's really no information besides just the description, because
That's my favorite one.
And
Yeah,
look at the description. It's pretty funny. Because
Yeah,
competent.
exactly.
Is that what it says?
So, and that person, I didn't check
Piper,
the
that's not you,
email.
right? Piper, you're super competent, not because competent.
So that Guet or Guet, however it is pronounced, Zilla does not even come up when you do a Google search.
Okay. Well, so
So-
I doubt that. I bet that particular application is going to receive 0 votes, which will make it pretty easy that the other 5 will probably win.
But here's the problem: if you cannot even access the website, how can you even vote on it?
No, you can't.
Look, as far as
Not
I'm
even.
concerned, we base it on the free market, and the free market is not going to award when our voting process happens. It's not going to give that That's not going to win. But I don't think
Well-
we should remove it from the voting process. I think if they apply for it, we put it in there. And
No, I think it just speaks to the fact that we need qualifications for submissions, guidelines that say you must submit a URL that is working. We must be able to see your site. You must have valid contact information, a pulse, something.
so I think,
Well, but guys, that requires you to be a company already, when that wasn't a stipulation of what we did. I mean, we said if you have a great idea and you can write it up in a paper and it's a good idea, you might be able to get one of these other companies to be able to help you out and utilize your idea as something that they do in the future. So I'm not. We kind of didn't say that you had to have a company or
no, you're right.
Not a website, but if they're going to list one, it should work.
Right. Well, I agree with
there
that.
There is no information.
But we can't.
There's
we
no
can't
information.
validate it. No
Okay, so
description.
look.
They have to submit a document or something.
Right, like for the next time, because look, we've already got these submissions. These are the ones we've received. Look, no one's going to vote for that one. So as far as I'm concerned, we list all 6, and the voting process will happen next week. 5 out of those 6 will win. We reward each of those. We'll send them their tokens, the 2.2 million each, and that'll be the end of it. And next year, I talked some of you at some point a couple of times about maybe going on Fox and CNBC and trying to promote what we're doing. The more I thought about it as we were getting to this first one, I'd like to get through it this first time. What we're going to do is we're going to learn this time. We're going to figure out how this works. There were only 5 or 6 submissions this time. Obviously, those 5 will win. The 5 good ones that actually are competent will win, and we'll have this process in place. And then I think next year we'll probably, based on what Dan just sort of said, not necessarily the website part, but the rest of it. Like, you need to have valid contact info. It needs to, it needs to be written up, and maybe we'll, it can't be 2 words of a write up for the
need
idea.
a submission of some type. I mean, it's to go on a random, paragraph. I think won't do justice to those who actually write up their idea in some way, shape, or form.
That's a good point, by the way. I do encourage everybody to go on the links themselves that people posted here, and go to the website from Jeremy Gromit with his what's his company called? I can't see; it's too small on my screen.
Rogue Space.
Rogue, of course. Yeah, go look at Rogue's website. It's actually a really cool website. They've got some neat pictures and movements and things, and so spend some time, get to know some of these ideas. They're going to be interesting. Look, do you guys want to read each one of those submissions, or do you want to just let people read it themselves and vote on it, and we reconvene next week with the awarding of it?
Oh,
I think we let people read it.
Yeah.
Me too. Cool. All right. Well, if there's no other questions or comments, this was a brief one this week, and I'm going to go back to the hospital and see Amaris and hopefully get her headed home in the next hour or 2.
Best wishes on that for
Yeah,
sure.
great. Good luck.
Absolutely.
Best wishes.
And say hi to the Q Station crew for me, by the way.
I will. They're out there. I'll tell them you said hi, Daniel. I'll book them, Dono.
Give Amaris a big hug from all of us, okay?
I'll do that, and she loves it if I say things like, "The whole Skittles volunteer says hi." Bryce can tell you, she'll start cracking up. She doesn't make any sound, but she'll go. Oh, she's the happiest thing you've ever seen, man. It's just adorable. Space Jam.
Beautiful.
We literally were watching Space Jam. Lincoln and I, with Amaris, were watching it last night at the hospital. So yeah,
Cool.
Yeah.
Hey,
Well, good luck.
I posted that link, but it looks like it's in the private chat, not the comments, but I don't see how I can put it in the comments. Somebody help me with that. So it's on the YouTube link.
can you put the link in the comments on the standard YouTube video for us?
Done.
Done.
All right, thank you.
We're
I
very
didn't know if that was for private chat or whatever.
Nah, I think, like, again, we're all open. There's nothing to hide. Thank you guys, as
Yeah,
always,
it's
for your
usual.
time and energy. Appreciate the kind words about Amaris, too. And I'll see you this time next week.
Hey, Mud, we got to catch up.
Absolutely.
I'll give you a
Let's do
show
that.
tomorrow, Dan.
All right, man.
All right, peace.
See ya.